Hey guys, and welcome to Pixel Cherry Ninja's channel. In this video we are revisiting The Legend of Zelda. Well, a Legend of Zelda, Zelda herself in Zelda's Adventure. We had a look at this Game Boy Color port like a couple of years ago, but it has been updated. It's been updated to version 2.0, and with it brings some great new additions. Now if you look at the left hand side of the screen, you can see it running on the original Game Boy DMG. Both of these were captured on the MiSTer, and on the right hand side you can see it running on the Game Boy Color side. It's up to you which one you like. Me personally, I have a lot of love and nostalgia for the Game Boy DMG, and I always have a bias towards that, but I know some of you guys like the Game Boy Color. There's nothing wrong with that. It's absolutely awesome that, well, we can play it any way that we like. Now initially playing this, it doesn't feel as good as say Link's Awakening, because when you kind of hit the enemy with your wand, which is the main weapon you get, you do pick up spells and other like power-ups. They're all spells like boomerang, fireball, knives, but the hits, they're not as satisfying as the hits in Link's Awakening. However, this has still made progress and the game is still fun. It's definitely worth checking out. I also tried this on my Analog Pocket and it works absolutely fine. Zero issues with it. I've got my Game Boys, I've got my DMG and my Color, but I'm so lazy to take them out, put batteries in and take the flash card out, put the game on there, so I'm lazy. But the Analog Pocket, it works fine, and that's really my way of playing Game Boy stuff. So let's talk a little bit about this, or the original game. So the original game, Zelda's Adventure, it was originally released in 1994 for the Philips CDI. It was developed by Viridis Corporation under license from Nintendo. It was the third and final Zelda title to appear on the CDI, following Link, the Faces of Evil, and Zelda, the Wand of Gamelon. By the way, all of those games suck, right? The ones on the CDI suck. I've played them, I've tried liking them. Honestly, you can't. They're worth trying out for novelty value, but they really aren't that good. So anyway, unlike its side-scrolling predecessors, Zelda's Adventure adopted a top-down perspective inspired by The Legend of Zelda on the NES and classics like A Link to the Past on the Super Nintendo. The story took an unusual turn for the franchise. Instead of playing Link, players controlled Princess Zelda herself. Now I know there's a recent one that came out on the Switch. I actually have it. I can't remember what it's called, but yeah, you get to be Zelda in that. That one's quite good. I played the beginning of it. It's good. It's good. The one on the Switch. Try it out. Anyway, let's go back to this. The plot unfolded in the mysterious land of Tolmak, or Camelot spelled backwards, where Ganon had captured Link and plugged the kingdom into an age of darkness. Guided by the court astrologer Gaspar, Zelda set out to recover several celestial signs scattered across the land, each guarded by Ganon's powerful minions. While ambitious in concept, the game's execution suffered due to the technical limits of the CDI hardware and an inexperienced development team. The system had not been designed as a true gaming console, leading to long loading times, unresponsive controls, and frequent audio-visual glitches. To showcase the CDI's full motion video capabilities, Viridis used live-action cutscenes instead of animation. The only Zelda title ever to do so. Staff members from the studio performed most of the roles, with office receptionist Diane Burns portraying Zelda in the opening sequence and Annie Ward appearing in-game. The game's development was fraught with technical and creative difficulties. Backgrounds were digitized from real-life photographs and video footage, including imagery from Los Angeles and Hawaii, pushing the console's limited memory to breaking point. Viridis had originally envisioned a sprawling adventure with hundreds of characters and locations, but these ambitions were sharply reduced before release. Upon launch, Zelda's Adventure was widely criticized. Reviewers described it as practically unplayable, citing its poor frame rate, inconsistent visuals, and amateur acting. Critics agreed it was the weakest of the CDI Zelda games, and it has since earned a reputation as one of the worst video games ever made. Nonetheless, its rarity, released as a CDI, was being discontinued, has made it a collector's curiosity among Zelda fans. Nearly 3 decades later, Zelda's Adventure received an unexpected revival. In April 2023, independent developer John Lay recreated the entire game for Nintendo's Game Boy using GB Studio, a toolset designed for developing games on the classic handheld system. The Game Boy version retained the original storyline and structure, Zelda's quest to rescue Link by retrieving the 7 celestial signs, but reimagined the presentation in the visual style of The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening. It's adapted the original's environment and puzzles within the Game Boy's technical limitation, resulting in a faithful yet streamlined version of the CDI title. Building on this work, Lay released a significant update in November 2024, and that's what we're looking at now, designed for both the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color. Version 2.0.0 introduced full color graphics, enhanced combat, new enemy animation, and improved sound effects and music composed by BeatScribe. The update also addressed several gameplay issues, such as fixing bugs, refining hit detection, and ensuring that collectible items like rupees and hearts could be picked up more intuitively. The Game Boy port, while unofficial, has been praised by the community and fans for transforming a notoriously flawed title into a playable and enjoyable experience by adopting the aesthetic and gameplay mechanics of Nintendo's owned handheld Zelda games, such as Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons, and naturally Link's Awakening that we mentioned earlier. It provides a glimpse of what Zelda's adventure might have been if it had been developed under Nintendo's direction and supervision. Zelda's adventure remains a fascinating anomaly in the Legend of Zelda's long history. Its CDI incarnation is remembered as an ambitious but ill-fated experiment born from the collapse of Nintendo's partnership with Philips. Yet its Game Boy adaptation demonstrates the enduring appeal of the franchise and the dedication of fans who continue to revisit even the most obscure corners of Zelda's legacy. What began as one of gaming's greatest missteps has in a sense come full circle, from malfunctioning CD-ROM title to a charming handheld homage that finally gives Princess Zelda's adventure the playability it always deserved. So anyway guys, that was it for this. Go download this on itch.io, try it out yourself, try it on original hardware. Like I said, I've tried this out on the Analog Pocket and the MiSTerFPGA. I think the image on the thumbnail you're going to see it on the Analog Pocket, but the actual footage I captured was on the MiSTerFPGA because it was a lot easier. But play this on an emulator, play it on original hardware. It's freaking awesome. Like, it is so much fun. It feels like a Zelda game. There's some finesse that's missing in particular with when you hit the enemy, you don't quite get that reaction, but I do like the spells in here. I kind of wandered around the village and I did eventually get to a dungeon at the end. Anyway guys, be awesome to one another. This is Pixel Cherry Ninja out.